Alright guys, Hayzink here, welcome back to the channel for another Street Fighter Duel video. In this one, I'm going to be answering a question that a lot of people have been asking me since Evil Ryu has now launched in the game. Now, if you watched my breakdown video, you'll know that I called Evil Ryu the best unit in the game. I have not changed my mind on that whatsoever, right? However, the question I'm now being asked from people is, should I switch from Akuma to summoning for Evil Ryu? So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at both of these units as a sort of a head-to-head comparison and basically see if you should swap your summons from Akuma to Evil Ryu. We'll look at the pros and the cons, and overall at the end I'll give you a yes or a no, right? So because I've done the Evil Ryu showcase or breakdown most recently, I think we'll start off with Akuma, right? So what are Akuma's strengths? Okay, you can see here that Akuma does increase damage dealt by 0.3% and it reduces damage received by 0.3% for every 1% HP lost. Okay, now you can see this here. This applies to Akuma, just to Akuma. If we look at Akuma's first skill, he'll strike the nearest enemy 3 times, dealing damage equal to 695% of attack. He will increase lifesteal rate by 20% while the skill is performed, and obviously that does grow a little bit, right? If you look at his combo 1, this is the one where he will do a Hadouken at the nearest target and he will inflict large damage with a chance of inflicting burn. And finally, this is the one he will attack the back enemy, right? So he will attack whoever is at the back, causing huge damage, right? Now, if we go in and look, his fighting spirit, you can see here, when he's in a support mode, he will do a fireball that will do 50% of attack to the enemy. It's like a trigger skill. When you've got plus 10, when your enemy is affected by burn, Shin Goku Satsu, damage is increased by 20%, and level 20, unleashing gives a 40% chance to gain 1 extreme Satsu thingy-me-bob, and at level 30 he becomes Shura after using the Goku Satsu 3 times. So, in fact, you know what, I should probably look at these cars as well. We'll go and we'll look at these cars. So if I go back, go to Akuma, go in his garage. There you go. So if he's got all his cars, gain 3 extreme upon entering the battle for the first time. After unleashing Shinshu Goku Satsu, receive 1 stack of extreme for every current stack of conquest. So what is Akuma's role in this game? On stages, he can help you somewhat for killing the back marker, right? He can do that. He can certainly do that. Against bosses, he can put up decent numbers as well, okay? But I would say that he is probably more of a boss focused unit than he is a PvP or even a stage focused unit. Now the reason I say that is because he doesn't have enough really in his kit to make him a must summon for stages, because if you need someone who can kill back markers, then you've got units already that can do that. You've got Guy, who can do massive damage to back markers. You've even got units like Viper, who can do huge damage to back markers. So there is other people that can do his role. Also, when it comes to boss killing, he's being out damaged by characters like Flame or Fashion, Blanca. So he doesn't really fill a unique role in the game, and that is where he greatly differs from Ryu. So we'll go now and we will look at Ryu. Probably don't look here, and yes, I have got him up to SS now. We'll go to... Actually, do you know what? We'll look at him in here, because then we can just look at his cars without me having to mess about too much. So jump into here, challenge. So again, we'll go over his skills really quickly. So his passive, he is going to give 15% additional damage to everyone in the team. Okay, so he's not just doing something for himself, he's doing it for everyone in the team. Sure, the trade-off is 15% HP, but again, like I discussed in his breakdown, it's very easy to get that back. You can get it back by EX skills. You can get it back by healers. There's loads of ways for you to get that back, right? Now, if you look here, all friendly fighters lose 1% of their current HP but gain another Satsu no Iku. That's if you've got a kill, right? And Shin Goku Satsu deals soul damage equal to 735% of attack to the enemy with the lowest HP, and obviously this scales up as well. So his passive means massive damage, right? His passive means massive damage. Let's just cut through all this talk. His passive is massive damage for your entire team, right? An additional 15% damage to everyone off the bat is not to be sniffed at, right? What else has he got going for him? Well, his skill, again here, his first skill, all friendly fighters. So he's helping everyone. So, as well as being a bit of a monster when it comes to attack, in a way, he's a bit of a support unit as well, because he is boosting your other units. He's making all the units in your team do more, which means he is in that unique position of being a support DPS, a DPS monster who is also an attack support unit, right? You don't get many of them, in fact. There is no other one in the game, right? So anyway, this one's going to do huge damage. Soul damage equal to 525%, and additional strikes getting even more damage. And these things increase. You get additional Satsus, which are going to help you with damage. You get super armor, which is going to stop you taking damage. So that's massive. His next skill is a free skill, basically. When you've reached the trigger point, you get to cast this skill for free. This does not use up a slot on your attacks, right? So that's huge. Regardless of what it does, that is huge. But it does do huge damage, right? Finally, his last skill. This one is a bit mental, because this one, right here, without any cars, so you will be able to get the benefit of this at S+, SS, which is probably better, because with SS you can get Fighting Spirit. Fighting Spirit can make you even better. But this isn't locked behind vehicles, right? So this will kill Bison, straight up. It will kill annoying people like Abel, someone who's got a shield that can quite often stick around and be very, very annoying. It will kill them, right? It will ignore shields. You can see it here. Still will ignore any shields, right? And any damage immunity. That is going to apply to enemies, as in stage-based enemies, bosses, okay? That's massive. And because it ignores immunity effects, when Bison is doing his to explode, Evil Ryu will have none of it, smash him in the face, and he's dead. So he is literally the first bona fide Bison killer in the game, right? But as well as doing that, he is going to make your team stronger for things like boss battles. He is going to ignore damage nullification. He is going to ignore shields. So he himself is also going to be an absolute monster when it comes to taking on bosses. And if we look at his garage on top of that, it just gets even more crazy, because if you've got 6 cars on this guy, he's going to do the whole damage reduction, shield ignoring, damage nullification thing. He's going to do it more often with cars. You don't need this guy at SS to make him shine. You don't. In fact, maybe because I've got mine at SS now, it would make sense for me to do a video. How does he perform at SS? Do you need to get this guy all the way to SSS to make him shine? Maybe it's worth taking a look at, but you don't. Because as long as you can keep him alive, which obviously being triple S is going to help because you've got more stats, he can literally just, even at SS, even at A+, even at S+, if he's landing that number 3 combo skill at a point where Bison is low and ready to come back to life, this man is having none of it. He's going to smash him in the face and he's just going to kill him. So to answer the question, should you switch from Akuma to Evil Ryu, it's pretty plain and simple. Yes, you should. I don't even care if you're only 2 or 3 copies away from getting a triple S Akuma. Akuma doesn't fill a unique role in the game. Evil Ryu fills a unique role in the game. He monster damage, support monster for your attacks, bison killer, straight up, he is. No one in the game does what this guy does. And if you go in on him now, even if in 2 months' time there's new units that come out, they are not going to invalidate this guy. They are not going to make this guy suddenly look mid. Now Akuma, to be honest, always looked a degree mid. He was never crazy broken or anything like that, you know. So it was always entirely possible that he could age out quite quickly. The way that Ryu's kit's designed, he's not going to age out quickly. He can't. Unless they decide to nerf him, which I very much doubt they would do, he is still going to be viable in 2, 3, 4 months' time. So if you were to use all your tickets for him now, which you can do or you can save, you are going to have a unit there that is going to serve you well for the future. Now, some of you might think to yourself, do you know what, I only need 3 copies of Akuma to get him to triple S. Okay, but that's maybe 100, 200, 250 tickets that you could have used towards getting this Ryu, building up this Ryu, who will push the needle and who will help you beat more content, who will help you get higher scores in bosses. Akuma, on the other hand, is probably not going to do that. This guy will. So if you currently in your summons have this set up, my advice, and I stand by this, is to hit this, do this, swap to summoning this guy. Go for this guy. He is probably going to be one of the top tier units, if not the top tier unit, for the foreseeable future. And honestly, when it comes to tier lists and stuff like that, we need a new tier, because this guy is on a level above everyone else. Literally, he is literally on a level above every other unit in the game. I don't say this lightly, but he is far and away the best unit in the game. Anyway guys, there's your question answered. Should you continue to summon for Akuma, or should you swap to Evil Ryu? There's the answer. Swap to Evil Ryu, do it now. Try and get yourself a copy of this guy. Try and get yourself a few copies of this guy, because ultimately this guy will end up carrying your ass through content. He is phenomenal, and he's probably going to be on the top level for the foreseeable future. Anyway guys, I've been Hayzink. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in the next one. Boosh.